At Elephant Racing, we've been offering a service to replace the rubber bushings for the front control arms for the Porsche 911 and 914 series for quite some time. We have a lot of experience in this area. We built upon that experience to develop a kit for home installation. And I'm going to take you step by step through that installation process. Here's the kit. Let's go ahead and open it up. The first item in the kit is a set of OEM spec bushings. There are 4 of them. That's enough to do one car. These are identical in terms of physical dimensions, rubber compound, and hardness to the originals. The second item in the kit is a set of proprietary tools that we developed. This is called the stop tool, and this is called the pilot tool. These tools are critical to the successful installation. You can't do it without it. The third component of the kit is a set of instructions. And these are step-by-step, they're fully illustrated, and they provide even more details than what I'm going to show you here in the video today. So be sure to consult your instructions. In addition to the parts that come with the kit, you're going to need some tools. The first is a bench vise. You're also going to need a propane torch. You're going to need some liquid soap, just regular hand soap is fine. You're going to need a digital level or a mechanical angle finder, a set of ice grips, a long screwdriver, and you're going to need a pipe clamp or a very stout bar clamp. We're going to use a bar clamp today. First step is we need to remove the old rubber bushings. To do that, you want to begin by placing the control arm firmly in the bench vise. And then we're going to take our propane torch and we're going to heat the mounts. Now you're not trying to heat the rubber directly, but rather make the metal hot. And it's okay to heat the mount, it's okay to heat the arm itself. The point is you want to get the metal hot. Now this one's actually been preheated, but it's going to take you about maybe 4 minutes or so per piece to get it hot enough. And you'll start to see a little wisp of white smoke, and then you know it's hot enough. And what we're going to do now is we're going to just twist. We're going to use the long screwdriver and really twist the arm off, the mount off. You see how easy that goes if you get it warm enough. If it's not coming off this easy, give it a little more heat. There we go. Watch out because that's going to be hot. And you can push this off easily. Next step, we're going to install the rubber bushings into the metal mounts themselves, both the front and the rear mount. And the way to do that is to use some of the liquid soap, apply it to the outside of the rubber bushing, get a nice even distribution, and we'll put a little bit inside the mount too. Just give a little squirt in there, and rub it around with your finger. And we take the bushing and we just press it in. Doesn't take too much force there, just pop right in. And you want to press it until you see the flange fully seat together. There's your rear mount. Okay, we'll do the same for the front. Soap on there, a little bit on the inside, rub it around, press them together. Okay, great. Those two are ready to go. Next, we're going to install the front mount and front rubber bushing onto the control arm. And we're going to take our mount, we've already installed the rubber bushing, we're going to lubricate it with the liquid soap. And be very generous here. Put a lot of soap on. It's important that this stay wet throughout the entire process. And rub it around the ID with your fingers so that it's fully coated. Then lubricate the end of the arm with the liquid soap as well, and distribute it over the entire surface. Again, be sure this stays wet throughout the entire process. Then we're going to take our stop tool and insert it into the end of the mount, the end opposite of the bushing. Okay, now I'm going to push this on by hand, and I'll get it started that way, and then we'll switch to the clamp. So let me just get it. Okay. And don't let it drift to one side. Once we get it started, it's going to be very easy. And it's really the stop tool is what is critical in making this work. Without the stop tool, the rubber bushing would actually squeeze right out of the mount and this would not succeed. But you can see with very little effort, doesn't really take a lot of force. With the stop tool, everything goes together very nicely, and we don't want to over tighten it. Just tighten it down until the rubber bushing is compressed lightly between the two flanges. Don't over tighten, or again, the rubber bushing will actually squeeze out. And that looks good. So I'm going to release the pipe clamp. I'm going to take off the stop tool, and for now we're done with the front. Next, we're going to install the rear mount and the rear rubber bushing, which have already been inserted into each other. Take our liquid soap and lubricate the inside of the rubber bushing. Again, be very generous. Distribute the soap around so it coats the entire surface. Now we're going to use our pilot tool. The pilot tool is designed to fit into the back of the control arm, and we're going to use some soap on the control arm as well. And I'll distribute this with my finger over the entire control arm surface. Next, I'm going to insert the stop tool into the back of the mount. Snap together nicely. Okay, now we're going to use our pipe clamp to squeeze the whole assembly together. Again, it is very helpful at this point to get a second set of hands to help get everything aligned. Once you get it going, it will be easy, but getting the initial alignment, it's a little tricky to do it with one set of hands. Now, we've got the stop tool. Notice how it's aligned. We have the stop tool, we have the mount, we have the pilot tool, and then the arm. The pilot tool and the stop tool are critical to making this work, and you'll see how easy it goes together. Now I've got it started, and you'll see it just goes together just as easy as you like. Very little effort required. Having the right tools make all the difference in the world. There we go. Now we're not going to over tighten, just bring it down until the flange is fully seated, and that's it. Now we'll release our tension. Pull the pipe clamp off. We're going to remove the stop tool and the pilot tool. And there we go. There you have it. Next, we're going to index the front and the rear mounts. It's critical that they be at the correct angle to the control arm, or you won't be able to install the control arm into the car. The angles for the front and rear mount are not the same. Look at your instructions and see what the recommended angles are. Now we're going to start by putting the control arm into the vise at basically at a level position. So I've set it in there with my digital level on top of the flat portion of the control arm, and that's 0. So that's going to give us a nice reference point for measuring our angles. And we'll start with the rear mount. And to measure the rear mount angle, set it across like that, right on the horseshoe portion and right on the round. Now I'm going to need a little bit more angle in this case. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to use our screwdriver, and we're just going to rotate it around. And as long as the soap remains wet, we can still do this with ease. But be careful, because as you do it, it wants to slide off. So you're going to use your vice grips to come back and squeeze the flanges together. Let me get a close-up of this. Squeeze the flanges together to prevent the mount from popping off. We're going to remeasure. Perfect. Okay, and we're going to go to the front. Next, we're going to index the front mount. And for the front mount, you want to set your digital level here on the flat portion of the mount. So in this case, we need to make it a little bit tighter. So again, I'm going to use my screwdriver to rotate it around slightly. I'll come back and measure again. Perfect. And I'm going to, this time it didn't slide off much, but I'm going to squeeze it down just to ensure that it's fully seated. Very good. There you have it. Now we're going to take it out and we're going to set it aside and let it sit for 24 hours so that the soap can dry. That's all there is to it. It's the finished product. This one looks very nice. It's been powder coated, but it now has Brand new rubber bushings. It's fully refurbished, good as the day it was new. This will last another 20 years and give OEM performance, OEM ride quality. And as you saw with our do-it-yourself kit and our patent pending tools, this is quite easy to do. If you follow the steps I showed you and you follow your instructions, you're going to have a successful installation at home just like this. If you want more information, go to our website. It's www.elephantracing.com. Thanks and good luck.